Matt Lenihan Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store. Delighted to be joined by one of the finest young fighters in this country, Junaid Bostan. Junaid, we've caught up a time or two before. You're finishing the year off with a bang, really. You know, addition to this show, the first boxing event at this huge arena was there last night. It's incredible. How excited are you to sort of finish this year off with a big performance?
I'm excited. The fact it's Manchester as well is a big bonus. Obviously, growing up, I spent a lot of time here in the children holidays, weekends. You know what I mean? I've got a lot of family here, so all in all, it's very good. Can't hear everything I'm saying right now, but I'll wait a second.
The microphone will pick it up.
Yeah. But another thing, what's good is the fact that it's in the new arena. So yeah, I'm looking forward to fighting in there. And yeah, man, I've always wanted to fight in Manchester as a professional, and now I get the opportunity to do so.
Your trajectory is continuously on the rise at the minute. We talk about this a lot. You've improved in terms of, I know, your mentality, your temperament. You learnt a lot from fights abroad. Are you where you want to be right now? Where you're at in your career? You're happy?
Nah, I wouldn't say never happy. I wouldn't say I'm ever content either. I know I've got somewhere to go and I'm not there yet, so which is the top, do you know what I mean? So I'm not there yet, so no, I wouldn't say I'm necessarily happy, but I understand where I'm going to and I'm going to get there, so yeah.
What does next year, without looking past your opponent next week, what does next year do for you and your career? What we're hoping to achieve? I feel like you've reached a lot of milestones for someone in this sort of last year in terms of your performances, sort of highlight reel, viral knockouts, things you've overcome. What we're looking at next year?
Everything happens for a reason, I believe, and I think I've learned a lot of lessons, some even hard lessons, a lot very early on in my career and in life, and I think it all happens for a purpose. It's been a very frustrating year this year, but in hindsight, God willing, I'll look back and think, thank God it happened. So I think I've had this year to learn the lessons to what's to come in the new year, and God willing, what's to come in the new year is superstardom of some level and big fights and big titles, so God willing, that'll be the case.
You mentioned these sort of roadblocks and stumbling blocks, but you have ambitions, lofty ambitions, which you should have, by the way, of becoming world champion, of headlining big shows. Is this, you've sort of alluded to it, but is this a blessing in disguise? Because once you get to that level, it is pressure, it is expectancy. You're going to get critics, you're going to get people who are, you know, riding with you, who will jump on the bandwagon off. Do you think this has sort of been a bit of an intermediate step to say, look, it's gearing me up here for what's to come?
End of the day, there's two titles I want in boxing, a British and a world title. They're the two titles I'd always want and always have, and I'd be proud of them so bad. And don't get me wrong, all the other titles I'd be proud of, but they're the two titles I want. All in all, I just look at it as lessons. I want to be a superstar. I want to be a very fine boxer. I believe I'm on the way to getting there, and sometimes lessons arise, and you may not necessarily see that you need them, but in hindsight, you needed them. So, God willing, to answer your question, yeah, hopefully, I'll look back at this year and be like, yo, I needed that.
Are we going to get the British title fight? Is that in the offing?
The British title? I mean, I'm not mandatory or anything like that. Maybe the back end of next year, God willing, yeah, definitely.
So ideally, back end of next year, you pick up the British title. Is that something, everyone talks about world titles, but the British title over here is like that bridge gap between, it's special, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm proud. I'd be so proud of having the British title. It's a beautiful belt. I think it's the most beautiful belt in boxing. Yeah. Like, I believe so. Like, the Ring magazine is very good, do you know what I mean? But like, they're on par, do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's probably why it's so hard to keep, do you know what I mean? You win it, you've got to defend it 3 times to keep it. So yeah, just to say that I've won it, it'd be a big dream, a big milestone as well. Yeah,
of course it is. Is it something you want to win outright? I know that you have to defend it 3 times, don't you? But is it enough for you just to have it?
Who knows? The trajectory I'm going, who knows where it'll lead to. I don't even want to say that I want to do something, because fast forward to a month, something else may arise. So no, I'm just staying disciplined, staying consistent, and dealing with controlling the things I can control. Do you know what I mean? And then God willing, everything else will play out smoother.
Is there things that's happened outside? What sort of happened outside of your control that you've let, I don't want to say bother you a bit, frustrate you? What's happened outside of your control?
What's happened outside of my control, what I'm frustrated with? I mean, speak no evil, hear no evil, see no evil. Do you know what I mean? Time and a place for everything. Do you know what I mean right now?
Not today?
Not today.
Well, when there is a time and a place, let me know. We'll come down. Your gym is ever thriving at the minute. Grant doing a terrific job, and Pierce obviously hand in hand. What's it like, obviously, Liam Cameron, I want to talk to you about him. he's been on a certain journey. What did you make of what happened? Because I was sat at home and going, and everyone was like, oh, we know what's going to happen here. I just went, I'm not sure. I said, Liam, although he had the time out the ring, he's experienced, he knows what he's doing, he's a good fighter, and he took Lyndon Arthur to the wire. Let's be honest, a lot of people said that was a really close fight. Lyndon won, fair enough, but for a guy who hadn't been back that long, that was a brave fight to take, and he did well. And what he did against Ben, who's everyone was talking about being up here, and look, he still might be, let's not write him off yet. But what did you make of him? And the positive side of it is where he's come from.
Liam Cameron. I think the difference between the Lyndon fight and the Ben fight for me was Liam had the questions answered about himself. He knew within himself, whereas before he questioned himself, just with the journey he's been on, which you can't help. You've got to think 18 months ago, he was severely overweight, in a bad place, and he's overcome a lot of obstacles, and still overcoming obstacles, may I add, yeah. But stay disciplined, stay true to himself, stick true to himself, and even to the others in the gym, and works, and good things come to good people, and that's what happened on the weekend. I mean, he didn't get the victory, even though he was deserving of it. In my opinion, he got 5 rounds. In my opinion, he won 4 of the 5 rounds. I could understand 3-2, but in my opinion, Liam definitely won. That wasn't given. However, in the public perception, he won. And on top of that, he's getting the applause, what he deserves, and more.
And he signed with Frank Warren on the back of it as well. Which, can you imagine that 18 months saying Liam Cameron come back and Frank give him a promotional deal like that off the back of, obviously, I know Lee has put a lot of work in with him as well. And that's when you look at that, it's like, it's nice in boxing seeing it.
The spotlight's been put on Liam, and I'm proud of him, and I'm happy for him. Do you know what I mean? For the first hour after the fight, I was fuming. I was like fuming. But then, once I got on the phone to him, he made me feel better about the situation. He made me feel better about the situation. He was more happy with the fact that his local had it on and everyone chipped in to pay the licensing fee. He was more happy about that than anything. I promise you, that's how content and happy Liam is as a person. He's a simple man, and you're very happy. He's come back from Riyadh on a Sunday. On the Monday and Tuesdays during the kids' classes. If that don't tell you what kind of person Liam is, I don't know what will.
And bear in mind as well, I saw an interview, I can't remember which channel it was, might have been Boxing King Media, so if it was, give them the props for this. And he said, they're asking him, obviously he's earned a lot, he's earned a fair bit of money out of that that maybe he wouldn't earn on a small hall show, and they're asking what the things he's bought, and he was like, I've upped the internet speed at home, and I was like, you don't see that in a lot of fighters. Often you see a new whip, a new chain, and you see money getting pissed away left, right and centre. And look, it spoils the war, you spend it on what you want, but it sort of shows you where he's come from a little bit.
Liam's a simple man, a simple, grounded man. And if there's anyone that deserves everything coming his way, it's Liam.
You've had Michael Conlan, another addition to your gym. What's it been like having him about? Obviously no stranger to some big nights, and yeah, what's it been like? Another experienced head as well for you to sort of sponge off as well, kind of thing.
It's like duck to a water, mixture in the gym, smoothly. He's fitting very well. I mean, we have good crack.
Saw him fall over the other day, jumping onto the box.
Yo, Mo got that on camera. So imagine I goes, yeah, white man can't jump because of the film. So then he says, he jinxed himself. He goes, yeah, we can't. The jump shit, I promise you, if that camera was zoomed out, you would not believe what happened on that box. I was cracking up. He's good, man. He's a good laugh, and God willing, he'll be out in the new year and doing his thing. He's having a last run at things, and yeah, man, he's a good addition. And he's just not as even as a person, his brain, the things he's been around. He's been all over the world as an amateur. He's been all over in America with different trainers in the country. Do you know what I mean? So it's good knowledge to pick off. Because I'm only young. I'm 22. So for me to pick his brains and get some knowledge off him, it's only beneficial for me.
Look, what can we expect from you next week? Treat the fans. Have you got anything in mind for the ring walk, by the way? What's the song? Have you thought about that? Have you even thought far ahead?
I'm so impulsive. I'll have one more. I'll have one.
Who are you listening at the minute, sir? Who are you listening?
Who am I listening, sir? It depends what mood I'm in. I mean, let me go on my YouTube history.
What are your last three? What are your last 3 tracks that you've added to your Spotify playlist then?
I ain't got Spotify, I got YouTube.
Oh my god, fuck me.
I'm a YouTube kid, I got YouTube Premium. Because I was in the car with my mum, I had to tone it down a little. So I had on Tadao. Yo, Tadao. Wait. What's my man called? Yeah, I don't know about I don't want to say his artist, but Tadao. Childish Gambino, 3005. And I had on Crystal, The Days. bit more of a house train.
Yeah.
Steady.
No, that's all right. Well, look, I look forward to seeing it. Are we going to expect a big knockout to round this year off for you?
God willing, I hope so. That's what I'm intending to do. So I mean, the guy's got 8 knockouts out of his 9 wins. He's not the best technically, but he can thud, and he's one of them guys where
Bit of danger for you though.
but he's that type of guy where he's not the best technically, what actually makes him a little awkward. So I'm going to go in there and do a number on him, regardless. Do you know what I mean? Whether it's points or knockout, he's going to come, and I'm ready to perform.
Junaid Bostan, always a pleasure catching up with you. We'll catch up with you fight week, and touch wood, obviously see how your fight gets on. We'll catch up straight after that. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Rob. Appreciate it.